Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Angel, and about a month ago I decided to buy a subscription for this plant app that basically helps you to put your plants on a watering schedule, a fertilizing schedule, a schedule for repotting, for misting, for cleaning your leaves of your plants even. So I felt it for me it was necessary to do this because I am a new plant mom, and it was very heartbreaking every time I started to lose a plant and I did not know why. So the subscription for the year was $35, which was completely worth it for me because some of the plants I buy are that much. So if one plant costs that much and I have a little over 30 plants, I feel like spending 35 bucks to make sure that I can care for them properly while I learn more about each plant, completely worth it for me. Today I had a lot of things to do for my plants, so I figured why not film me taking care of all of them. I hope that you enjoy this video, and without further ado, here you go. Alright guys, don't mind my grumpy face. Clearly I am just waking up in the morning and I have not had my coffee yet. But first thing I do for my plants is I plug in my lamps. This one is not technically a grow light, it is just an LED light bulb that I have for my croton. I do have a purple grow light, which I did not get to record turning on, but you will see it later on in the video. I am hoping to get more grow lights for my plants in different parts of my home that do not get much light. These are just some of my propagations that I have that are in a north-facing window, so it gets some good morning light, but nothing too hot. Once my coffee is done, I then check my humidifiers around the house. My biggest one is in this dining room area because it is very open space, so I needed a pretty powerful humidifier. This one probably isn't as powerful as some, but I seem to do well with it. I just use tap water because it is a heating humidifier, so it kind of purifies itself. I still cluster the plants around it that really need high humidity, but making sure that the mist doesn't directly touch my plants. My plants seem to like it though. I have two cool misting humidifiers in my spare rooms. I got them off Amazon. I believe they were $20 each. They are quite smaller than my other one, but they do the job pretty well. I do use purified water for them because they are cool misting. These humidifiers come with two settings. One's a continuous misting and the other is an intermittent misting, which is the one I normally use because it doesn't cause it to run out so quickly. I keep both of them on the same setting, yet that one seems to run out much faster than the one in the office room, which you'll see. I still check them both at the same time, but this one seemed to be much fuller, so I just left it alone. Once my lights are all on and my humidifiers are full and running, I just sit down and check my Planta app to see what tasks that I'll need to do for the day. Like I said, they come in 3 different categories most of the time. One will be watering, misting, and fertilizing. A lot of times I'll have a plant that needs all 3, so that's sometimes why it seems like I have a lot to do. Once I check my list, then I just start going and checking my plants to see if they really do need to be watered. I use the finger method for a lot of them, but if I'm not really sure, I get my moisture meter and just kind of double check because I never want to overwater any plants. And this one does need to be watered, so I just start collecting them and bringing them to the sink so that it's a little bit easier so I could do it all at one time. This was an instance where it said I needed to water my golden pothos, but when I checked with the moisture meter, it was clearly still really moist, so I didn't want to water it again. So with the app, you can just go in and snooze, and it will remind you in 2 days. Certain plants I like to completely dry out, especially my succulents. So my elephant bush, I not only check with my finger, but I also check with the weight. It needs to be really, really light for me to want to water it. I need it to be completely dry. With my croton, when I checked it, I didn't remember the last time I watered it, and it was still pretty good, the soil was. So I just wanted to check that the bottom was not sitting in water because I do have pebbles underneath it with a little bit of water. And that is what you see me doing here. It's not wet, so I figure it's okay, and I just move on. Funny enough, the little child over there has taken a bite out of my peace lily and my sansevieria when they were in different parts of my house. I want her to get used to being around plants, and with my supervision and my husband's supervision, get her to get out of the habit of eating them or wanting to eat them. So that's why I'm okay with her being around them as long as she's supervised, so that she can kind of get used to them just being decoration and not wildlife that she can snack on. Like I said, the cool thing about this app is it's very informative. So when it comes to fertilization, it gives you care instructions for each one of your plants. For the most part with fertilization, it says the same thing, and I use the same fertilizer for all of my plants. So here I use the Miracle-Gro indoor plant food. I love the one with the pump. It's super easy, no mixing. I just give my plants a little drink so that they are prepared to take in the food. And with small plants like this size, I just do one pump in the soil. I make sure not to pump it on any of these stems or foliage. And then I water as usual. Once I finish watering a plant, I'll move it into the other side of the sink and I'll move on to the next plant. As you can see here, I am fertilizing my Monstera, and because it's a bigger pot, I give it 2 pumps. I am using my filtered water. Not all of my plants actually need this, but a lot of them are very picky, and the water that I have that is tap water is very hard on my plants. It leaves a lot of water spots, so I just figure better to be safe. Since I was already fertilizing and watering this baby, I figured might as well use my Miracle-Gro Leaf Shine that a friend recommended. I love using it for my plants that have large foliage like this one. It just makes them look so nice and shiny. I'm just using a very soft microfiber cloth that I have dampened, and I just spray right on the plant's foliage and gently wipe it. With watering instructions, this app does give you different instructions for different plants. Like this prayer plant, it does not want to be completely dried out. It doesn't even want the top 2 inches to dry out. It wants to stay consistently moist. So it lets you kind of know what it means to be consistently moist, that you don't want it to just be sopping wet, but you don't want it to start to get too dry. So it gives you 3 different ways to water your plants. I tend to just top water and let the excess water drain out before I put it back in its place. As you can see, I just start by lightly watering it. I want it to be able to absorb the water and not let it just completely drain out the sides. So I just start little by little, and I rotate it so to evenly water it. And once I see that it's draining from the holes on the bottom, then I give it some more water. Eventually it will start to spill over the top, and then I know that all of the soil is being impacted, so then I just set it to the side and I let it drain. The Marble Queen did not say on the app to fertilize, but I didn't remember the last time I fertilized it. So I figure, what's the harm in giving it 1 pump of food? The last thing on my list of to-dos is misting, and I know some people think that misting is pointless, and I tend to agree that it doesn't give my plants a lot of extra humidity, but that's not really why I mist them. I kind of just do that to give the leaves a little bit of a drink, and to also do a little spritz to kind of get some dust off. And it also lets me know if I have any black fungus flies flying around, because whenever I spritz them and they're on my plants, they tend to scatter. So it kind of just lets me know which plants I need to maybe do a neem oil treatment on. I am not really being very careful. I tend to move my plants away from my bookshelf when I do this, but since I had a camera in my hand, I couldn't really do that. So like I said, I just really do the spritzing to give it a good cleaning, get some dust away, and give it a little drink. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too boring with my sped through morning chores and my voiceover, but I hope it was informative. Comment below if you have any tips or tricks that you really learned throughout your plant journey. I've really been enjoying talking with those who enjoy plants as much as I do. And again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.